Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of this 5-part business challenge. Again, I'm going to wait a minute or so for those of you who are going to be here live with me to jump on. I'm a bit red today. I spent quite a bit of time at the beach today, and I just looked at myself on the screen and I was like, I'm quite rosy. And how does it get any better? So again, please feel free to comment, ask me any questions while we're live. As I said, I can't see your names on the comments. That's okay. Just know that I'm grateful that you're all here. Hello, everybody joining. Again, I have no clue who you are. And how does it get any better? So please feel free to let me know how you went with the home play yesterday as well. What that was like for you, what showed up for you as well. You can comment here or feel free to post it in any one of the groups as well. I'd love to hear from you guys. Amazing. So today I'm really excited because I really wanted to speak to you guys about vision and about creation. And they're two of my very, very favorite topics to talk about. And not only that, but I really want to weave it in the conversation with being, because when you be, you get to create and access this space that begins to expand your business with ease. And I wanted to speak more to that. Good morning. Someone from Malaysia. Amazing. How does it get better? And I'm so glad you're catching the live too. Amazing. Cool. So today I was just mentioning that I wanted to speak to getting clear on what you desire to create in the world, the vision of what you desire your business to be. Now, this is crucial and vital for your business actually working. This reality, call it messaging. I call it vision. So for all of you guys, I really wanted you to get clear. And I know there's all different people in this group and all different people watching this. So there's some of you that have a business and are not really sure where to go with it or what you desire to create with it. There's some of you that don't have a business, but always know that you've desired to create one. And that was me literally before I started using the tools of access consciousness. And there's some of you that have a really well-established business. And this is actually going to apply to all of you guys as well. So it's not just for those of you that are just beginning. And what I recognize, I went through this process about a month or two ago when I actually started this group. And that's when I actually started getting clear on what my vision actually was. So the thing is, whether you have a business or not, then getting clear on what you desire to create in the world is going to allow you to expand your business with ease. You have to be clear about why this, why a business, why choose what I'm actually choosing. And I know why is not a really good word, but you get the energy. If there is no vision, there's not much to actually invite people to or for people to connect to. And it becomes increasingly challenging to actually have a business that works. In fact, if the connective energy is not actually present in a business, it doesn't work. Meaning, if you don't have a vision of what you actually desire to create in the world, then it's going to be very hard to connect people to that vision and connect them to your services, whatever service that is. So when I say vision, I don't mean messaging as such. Vision is, for me, what possibility and ease and joy can I invite their being to? Messaging for me is, what do I have to do to get them to buy my stuff? Or what do I have to say to get them to buy my stuff? And again, none of it's right, none of it's wrong. But for me, I always got really confused and hung up on the whole idea of messaging. And it made me seriously confused about, well, I'm not sure what that is. And for me, that whole idea of messaging is this: what do I have to say to get them to buy my stuff? Or how do I get it right, basically? Hello, everybody. So do you guys notice a difference in energy of that? Get the energy of the vision, the possibility, the ease that you can actually invite them to, versus the idea of messaging. For me, that idea of vision is so much lighter. And again, for you guys, remember what's true for you makes you lighter. What's a lie is heavy. So there might be stuff I say today that is not light for you. And please just take that with a grain of salt. So it's actually the energy that connects people. There is no logic to it, but it's the energy that you be that actually connects people to your business, to your services, to your classes, whatever that is. So when we talk about vision, what I'm talking about is the whole, why are you creating what you're creating? What do you desire to invite people to? And are you clear? So my vision in the world is to invite the world and to you guys to the bliss and the ease and the magic and the joy that's possible through choosing more consciousness. Each class, each service, each business you have is going to have a slightly different vision, but ultimately your vision is going to kind of be the umbrella for everything else underneath it. So, for example, my vision for this group, for this challenge, was to invite you to the ease that's actually possible in business. So notice that that's kind of like a branch off my, I guess, my umbrella vision of like the ease and the joy and the magic that's actually possible. So my question to you guys, and you can pop it in the chat, is what do you desire to invite the world to? What is it you actually desire to invite the world to? Because this question is going to become the basis of everything that you actually end up creating. Every single service, every single class, and it is vital to begin to actually expand your business from that space of ease. Now, with this whole idea of like your vision, then what are you actually creating? What do you desire to create? So for some of you, again, with a business that you have that's already established, you will have different services that you're providing. And go with this though, because what I noticed is, again, I'm 3 years into having my business and it's constantly changing. It's a constant evolution of, again, what do I desire to invite people to? What do I actually desire to create? Now, if you're someone that joined this group and is like, I have no clue what I actually desire to create in the world, then please ask yourself these questions too. So if anything was actually possible and you knew you couldn't fail, what do you guys have the most enthusiasm about? What do you desire to invite yourself to? And for me, that's the magic in business. And again, like I said, this is something that I've just started actually truly getting clear on. So if you knew that anything was possible and you couldn't fail, what do you have the most enthusiasm about in the world? What can you create? What desires to be created through you? What would be fun for you? And what are you the source of? To begin to get clear on what you desire to create, and even if, again, you've had your business for years and you're kind of in this place of like stuckness or stagnant energy or like, what do I do next? Or everything's gone blank, which happens for me very regularly with my business. It's to ask those questions like, okay, what do I desire to create now? What do I desire to invite me to, the world to? What would be fun for me? And the thing is with business, particularly for most of you guys watching, if not all of you, if it's not fun for you, it's not going to be viable. It's not going to be sustainable. So this is why it's really important to ask yourself, like, what would be fun for you? What is fun for you? And when I actually began, when I become a certified facilitator of access consciousness, I had this period where I was creating for the joy of it. And then I noticed this point in time where I started creating for everyone else. I started creating for what I decided people actually wanted, whether they actually did or not. And that actually sucked all the joy out of my business. And I was not enthusiastic about it at all. And I actually began to destroy my business in a sense, and not really destroy it, but the energy actually just completely changed because I didn't actually want to do anything with it because it was no longer fun for me. So I'm just reading the comments. So someone says, for the world to be free of head tripping and for judgment to be replaced with awareness. Amazing. And for you too. Yeah, cool. I love that. And here's the thing with what you guys, when you get clear on your vision, what you'll recognize is that vision is usually what you actually desire to invite yourself to. And that's what's really cool. And someone says, I literally wish for someone to wave a magic wand and to get that life I desire. And that's awesome. We all do, probably. And I know for me, like particularly thinking about that whole idea of creating money, because I mean, how many of you actually find it like are motivated by the money versus how many of you would actually just prefer a truck to just dump like millions of dollars of cash on your lawn? I used to have dreams about that. And this is the thing, this is why, unless it's fun for you, you're not actually going to create the money, the life that you've always known is possible. So, and someone says, what is it when I desire? What when I desire, but I don't take any action? Let's talk more about that, actually. We'll get to that. So, getting clear on what you desire to create. So again, whether you have a business, whether you don't have a business, begin to ask the questions that I was just mentioning. And again, we can pop these in the chat, the group, Telegram group, Facebook group as well. So what is it you desire to create? Now, for me, when I kind of got to this point a few months ago where I wasn't very enthused about my business, it wasn't really fun, and it kind of seemed quite stagnant, then I started asking myself those questions, and I started asking myself more questions. And the question that really popped was, what scares the crap out of me to offer the world? X terrifies me. And this is the thing, for most of us, the thing that is going to create the most for us, the thing that is going to generate, generally speaking, the most money into our life are the things that we find so easy that we decide have no value. Because oftentimes in this reality, we place value on the things that are hard. Other questions you guys can ask yourself is, what do people ask me about all the time? What am I already doing that I'm not charging for or not charging enough for? Or what do you love to do that you actually don't charge for yet? And so again, question opens up the doorway to all awareness. So there is no how with this. How do I figure it out? That's not a good question to ask. It's like, what question can I ask to actually gain awareness of what would be fun for me? The thing with this whole idea of like creation, we exist in a field of energy, and most of us know that and don't actually recognize like the implication of that. Now, we exist in this infinite field of energy. We are all infinite beings, and again, science has proven that everything is connected. Now, it's not these, I mean, how many of you have like constant ideas for what you can actually create? And if you don't, it's not wrong. But the thing is, those ideas aren't necessarily coming from our mind. We are aware of this field of energy, we're all tapped into it. And the ideas and creations oftentimes that you become aware of are actually their own entity, meaning they're an energy that's defined. So within this field of energy, there are all these different ideas and creations that desire to actually be birthed into the world. They have a life force of their own, and we become aware of them either just because you're aware, or that you're the only one that can actually actualize them. You're the only one that can create it the way it would like to be created, or you are the only one that is the source of that thing. Now, a lot of the ideas we are aware of are just ideas. A lot of them aren't for us, and a lot of them don't create. And I know this might sound crazy, but when you exist within this field of energy and you're constantly having all these ideas all the time, and a lot of you may even have like 100,000 notepads where you have all of these ideas written down, what happens is you've actually got to begin to get clear and ask questions on, okay, is this actually mine? Is this for me? Is this for now? Is this for the future? And will it work? So someone's just said, I asked myself, what do I do that is fun and joyful for me? And what would it take for me to create a life I desire by using the things as a way to create business with? Awesome. And that's a really great question to ask, and keep asking those questions. So cool. So this thing about getting clear on what you actually desire to create. So recognize that these constant ideas that you might be having can just be ideas. So to get clear, and the challenge for you guys is I would keep a notepad and write all these ideas down. Write everything that's coming to you down. Write and go through the questions that I mentioned before and begin to write all this down. You want to ask yourself with all of these creations, will this work? Is this an idea or a possibility? And is this for now or is it for the future? Because a lot of the things you're aware of can be ideas, creations that desire to be created through you in the future. Once you get clear on what you desire to create, so you're clearer on your vision, you've begun to ask the questions, you have asked yourself what would be fun for you to do. And for a lot of you, I know you mentioned that you have an access bars business. So that might be access bars. You might already be clear that that's what you actually desire to do. And then you want to ask, why this? Why? What do I desire to create with this? What do I desire to invite people to with this? Now, a really great example of that is I have a class coming up that I've called Intimacy with Business, Money, and Body. And so I've created this class, and it has started speaking to me a little while ago, and it started it asked me to actually create it. Now, so with that, it's anytime you have this creation that begins to come through, or this idea, you want to get the vision of that and ask, okay, why this? When you connect people to that vision or possibility, it's your being that actually ends up speaking to their being. And that is what is the most powerful invitation. When you know what you're inviting people to, it's so much easier for people to connect to you and your business and your services. And this is where the vision of what you desire to create in the world and what you desire to invite people to becomes vital. When you get clear on your vision, that's when you get to access that magic and the ease of business. Knowing why you're choosing what you're choosing is actually vital. Because if you don't know what you desire to create in the world, commitment is actually one of the first things to fall away. And this is where we were just mentioning, and I don't remember the comment, but where someone said, when you don't take any action. So the thing is, it's like, one, you want to ask yourself, okay, do I actually know what I desire to create in the world? Is this actually fun for me? What's important is actually the energy behind everything that you're actually choosing, which I mentioned yesterday. When you're not clear on your vision, you actually come out of being that invitation and you go into the doing. When you're that space of invitation, when you know what you desire to invite people to, you don't have to sell. You just invite and people reach. And that is the magic of energy. Are you putting enough energy and effort in the invitation? So, from the very beginning, question, what do I desire to invite the world to? What do I desire to invite myself to? Now, does this make sense to you guys? Feel free to pop it in the comments because I feel like I've gone 100 different directions again. So do you have any questions about anything I've just mentioned? And this can be there's quite a bit of delay on StreamYard as well. So there's some comments that I'm not seeing till a lot later. So let me know. Awesome, guys. So yeah, you can pop it in the chat anyway. Does this okay, cool. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Cool. So if you guys have a business and you have a class or a service that is not working the way you desire it to work, you want to ask, what invitation am I not willing to be? The thing is, you can't invite people to something that you're not being yourself. It's what we be that makes people want to reach the most. Are you connected to your vision? Are you actually congruent with it? And so for me, I guess with this business group and speaking about business and inviting you to the ease that's actually possible with business, if I'm not being that, if I'm not congruent with creating and choosing that ease with business and choosing to create my business differently, then it's going to be very hard for me to actually invite people to that possibility. For example, if any of you have a bars class and you desire to get more people to your classes, or there's not as many people showing up that you desire to show up, one, what am I inviting people to here? Why this? Let's say your vision is to invite people to more joy in their life. You've got to ask yourself, am I being joyful? Is my life filled with joy? You have to be congruent before that invitation works. And then if you get a no, ask, what action can I choose that will create the greatest joy for me? What action do I require to take for my business to be more joyful for me? And this is the thing, when you're not clear on what you desire to invite people to, and when you're not actually congruent with that invitation, then what occurs is you go out of that space of being in business. You go out of that space of possibility and magic where the universe delivers everything you're asking for. And you step into this space of doing. Because when you're not being what you desire to invite people to, this is where then the doing, the force, and the effort, and this reality marketing and sales techniques then are, generally speaking, the only thing that actually works, if it works. So you have to be congruent before the invitation works and begin to ask yourself, what action can I choose that would create, again, if it's joy, the greatest joy for me? What action do I require to take for my business to be more joyful for me? Cool. Wow, this is so big. Thank you so much. And I can see that I'm getting there. It's a big ask. Yeah. And this is where you guys have to be really kind to yourself as well. It's like, this is massive. Like that whole thing about like the invitation and what are you inviting yourself to? It's something that is always going to shift and change and transform. And it's not about getting it right. There's no such thing. But it's to really look at this, because if you desire the ease with business that's actually possible and available to you, if you desire to be that space where money flows, where clients show up, where your business expands with ease, then you're going to have to be congruent and get clear on what you desire to invite people to. Because it's only then that business, for me, is joyful. The doing, the force, the effort, the sales don't work for me. And I can guarantee if you're in this group, it probably doesn't work for you either. Most of you, as I mentioned before, are not going to be motivated by the money. Most of you are motivated by possibility, by the joy, by the ease, by the magic. So again, it's like, what are you inviting yourself to? What actions can you take that would create the greatest joy, ease, bliss, magic for you? So I hope that helps, guys, and I hope that's been a contribution. How does it get any better than this? I'm just trying to think of like home plate. There's lots of questions I get that I've actually asked you guys to look at, and it's going to be different for all of you depending on where you're at with your business as well. But really begin to look at, what am I inviting people to, or what would I like to invite people to? And why this? Am I being it? And then begin to ask, what action can I take that will connect people to that vision? What can I create that will connect people to that vision? What desires to be created through me? And the other thing about your vision is really beginning to ask, do I value that vision? Do I value that? And for example, for me, with having like my vision being inviting you guys to the ease that's actually possible and available with business, it's like for me, I had to get clear, like, do I value that? Or is what I value creating a business from the force and the effort and the hard work? So again, it's like you've also got to value your vision. You've got to value what you're inviting people to. Otherwise, that invitation is not going to work. And for me, it's like it's okay to be messy. You don't have to get it right. You don't have to get it perfect. There's no such thing. I don't have business right. There's no such thing. And the more you try and focus on getting business right, the further it's going to take you away from what you know is actually possible and available to you in business. For me, I've barely done lives before. I've had my business for 3 years. Like, I want to say I've probably done about 15 lives the whole time I've had a business. I find lives uncomfortable to do. They're fun for me, except I get really uncomfortable because it's just not something that I've really actually chosen to do a lot of. And so from my choice to actually show up in this group and go and do lives was literally a choice for me to go, well, what action can I take that would actually allow me to take one step closer to what I desire to invite the world to? So again, it's like we have this idea of like what we're going to have to do to create a business that works. And if you think that you're going to have to show up on lives and do videos and stuff all the time, is that actually true? Because I've barely done that. So what if you're willing to be messy? What if you didn't have to get it right? But what if there were these little steps that you could actually take to get clear on that vision, on what you desire to actually invite the world to? So everything, all of that brings up for you guys, and everywhere you're trying to get it right, good, perfect, or correct, before you begin, will you destroy and uncreate that times a gazillion? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all in shorts, boys and beyonds. And everything that's possible that you don't think is possible, that if you allowed the possibilities would actualize a totally different reality, will you destroy and uncreate that times a gazillion? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all in shorts, boys and beyonds. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me again. I'm grateful for you all. And how does it get any better than this? We will pop the home plate. I'll kind of get clear on the questions that you guys can ask to get clarity on that invitation, because this is where it all begins. Again, yesterday's live was all about everything's energy and really knowing that your point of view that it's possible to succeed, or you're knowing that you get to create the life that you desire, is number one. And the second step is this. It's like, well, then what do you desire to create? So thank you guys. I'm so grateful for you all. How does it get any better than this? And I'll see you tomorrow.